Okay, let's dive into this. Welcome to today's explainer. If you've ever found yourself just throwing massive blocks of text at a chatbot, crossing your fingers, and really hoping for a decent result, well, you are absolutely not alone. Most of us do it. But what if we stopped treating generative AI like some sort of digital magic 8-ball and instead started treating it like a highly capable, complex problem-solving partner? Today, we're going to completely move past the guesswork. We are breaking down a highly structured, super effective framework for getting exactly what you need out of AI. We are looking at the Learn Prompting Method.
So here's our roadmap for the explainer today. We're going to cover 1. The generative AI problem, 2. The Learn Prompting Method itself, 3. Steps 1 through 3, 4. Step 4. The adjustment, 5. Step 5. Launching, and finally, number 6. The iterative secret. All right, let's kick things off with Section 1, the generative AI problem.
So the biggest pitfall in AI right now, honestly, isn't the technology itself. It's us. We have this massive tendency to jump straight into a solution before we've even properly defined the problem we're trying to solve. To fix this, we're turning to a framework that comes directly from Sender Schulhoff. He's the CEO of Learn Prompting. And get this, he created the internet's very first prompt engineering guide a whole 2 months before ChatGPT even launched. 3 million. That is the massive number of people Schulhoff has personally taught how to prompt. He's even partnered with OpenAI to run huge AI red teaming competitions. So when it comes to structuring AI interactions, you better believe this framework is backed by some serious credibility and deep practical experience.
Moving right along to Section 2, the Learn Prompting Method. This is where we shift from haphazardly guessing to following a reliable, repeatable roadmap. And this brilliantly illustrates the entire mental model we'll be using. It's a clean 5-step journey. Step 1, state your problem. Step 2, examine relevant information. Step 3, propose a solution. Step 4, adjust the solution. And finally, Step 5, launch your solution. Now, I know it looks super simple on the surface, but the real power here is in the discipline of not skipping ahead. Let's see how this actually works in practice.
Okay, Section 3, Steps 1 through 3.
To anchor this theory in concrete reality, we're going to use a delightfully quirky case study from the source material. Imagine a fictional hat company. Now, think about your own business or projects for a second. How many tasks or customer queries just fall through the cracks because you literally can't get to them fast enough? That is exactly where our hat company starts. Step 1 is stating the problem strictly, without jumping to AI. The issue? The company is just drowning in a huge volume of user queries about fedoras, beanies, 10-gallon hats, you name it. And they're actually losing potential business because they can't answer them in time. Notice how we haven't even mentioned AI yet? That's crucial. Then, Step 2 is examining the relevant information. They researched what customers actually ask. Actually, scratch that. They looked at where they were spending the most time, which turned out to be history questions like who invented the bowler hat, along with modern styling and care tips. They also researched available AI chatbot tools, specifically noting their context limitations and pricing. They are building a rock-solid foundation of data first. Only now do we reach Step 3, which links that gathered research directly to a proposed solution. Based on the data, the proposed solution is to build a ChatGPT-powered bot designed specifically to answer these hat queries in a friendly, informative way. Boom! We've successfully defined the what and the how. But as anyone who has ever used AI knows all too well, your first try is rarely your best try.
Which brings us to Section 4. Step 4, the adjustment. This right here is a dramatic turning point where true prompt engineering becomes the key to success. Now, what's really interesting about this is the very first basic prompt the team proposed. It read, "You are a knowledgeable hat historian who has studied the history, styles, and proper ways to wear various types of hats." And, well, it's okay, it sets a role, but when they took this prompt and actually tested it out with a small group of users, they completely hit a wall. The bot was just a bit too stiff. It really lacked warmth. The feedback clearly showed a need for a lot more engagement. They couldn't just launch it like this. They had to iterate.
Notice the evolution in the prompt after that initial testing. We've gone from a super dry, knowledgeable hat historian to a highly energetic hat enthusiast. We explicitly instruct the AI to be friendly and informative. This perfectly demonstrates the crucial act of iterating. You don't just accept the first output, right? You mold it based on real-world friction. But the thing is, the team didn't stop testing there.
Because further testing revealed a really fascinating split in their market. They realized they actually had 2 completely distinct audiences. One group wanted the formal academic history of hats. The other group, they just wanted snappy, informal advice on how to style them casually for the weekend. One single prompt, no matter how beautifully written, just couldn't serve both of those masters perfectly. So, the crucial point is how they solved this. They built a routing prompt. This prompt doesn't even attempt to answer the user's question. Instead, it acts exactly like a traffic cop. It analyzes the user's intent and simply outputs the word formal or informal, automatically directing the user to a specialized subbot. This beautifully illustrates how complex, robust AI solutions are built step by step, entirely through this critical adjustment phase. All right, Section 5, Step 5, Launching.
Once you've finally ironed out those complexities, it's time to deploy that chatbot to the company's website and let real customers interact with it. But listen, while launching the solution is the main instruction here, the second half of that step is absolutely critical. You must continue to monitor performance and user feedback. Launching is absolutely not the finish line. When your AI hits the real world, it's going to encounter some truly bizarre queries you never could have anticipated. You have to constantly monitor those real-world interactions.
And that leads perfectly into Section 6, the iterative secret. This is the big, overarching philosophy you need to take away today regarding the true nature of working with generative AI. The learn prompting method isn't some straight line. It is a continuous, living cycle. Treating AI like a one-time magic wand is a guaranteed recipe for frustration. Instead, you have to treat it as an iterative partner. Launching is literally just a new beginning. You keep gathering feedback, and you return to the earlier steps, adjusting your prompts, maybe even redefining the problem entirely if necessary, for constant, continuous refinement. And honestly, that is the real secret to successful prompt engineering.
So there you have it. We've walked through the 5 steps. We've seen exactly how defining the problem, gathering data, proposing a solution, relentlessly adjusting it, and cyclically launching can turn a basic, clunky chatbot into a highly smart, routed AI solution. Now the ball is entirely in your court. What complex problem are you going to solve first using this 5-step method? Stop throwing random text at AI, use the framework, and start building something truly incredible. Thanks so much for joining me on this explainer, and I'll catch you on the next one.